Hey everybody, it's Ray Schmitt with your Jackals training camp report for this Thursday, October 10th. We're inside Broadcast Central here at First Arena up in the press box, and in just 15 short days, this will be the location from where I will call the Jackals home opener against the defending Kelly Cup champion Reading Royals. I've got Jared Abbott with me, who you've seen earlier on the training camp report this week, and we're here to talk about the blue-white game which took place yesterday between the Jackals training camp attendees. The squad was split up into two different teams, and Jared, it was a big day for the guys who were trying to make the club, but it ended up being some of the returning players, I think, who standed out most over the course of that game, helping the blue team win it 6-1.
Yeah, I think what we saw there was the returning guys didn't miss a beat at all in the offseason. You know, we talked to Jordan Peters just yesterday about his offseason regimen, if he's coming in after a career year and what he's going to look like on the ice. I thought we saw more chemistry from him and Bellamy as well. Those guys have played all but 2 games together here in Peters' ECHL career. So you definitely saw that early on. You saw some of the guys last year that started to break out, make an impression. I think they took a step forward in the offseason. So I think they added a lot to their game to really complement some of the new guys that we're seeing here that are also quite talented.
Yeah, there are a lot of new faces. When it comes to the goaltenders, we have a returning face and a familiar face. Scott Grenham sent here from the Binghamton Senators. Max Claremont assigned by New Jersey from Albany. They played the first of 2 25-minute periods yesterday, and both looked solid. Claremont gave up 2 goals, Grenham 1. But it's going to be an interesting battle, I think, between those two to see whether or not one can really take the reins and run with the starting goaltender position.
Yeah, I think that's not going to be as important when the season gets started. Just splitting time, I think, will be perfectly fine with these two guys. But we will see one guy probably emerge, with a hot streak. He'll get the whole weekend or so. If there's a 3-game weekend, it definitely helps to have 2 goaltenders. We've seen now in the professional ranks where 2 goaltenders are very important to a single team, having like a 1A and a 1B. I think the Jackals are in a great position this year with 2 very strong goaltenders who are also very youthful. They both have a lot of room to grow and develop. I think that's a big plus.
As young as they are, Claremont has 2 years of pro experience, and Grenham finished up his rookie season last year. So now we're kind of getting to the point where it's the home stretch of training camp, where the roster is going to be whittled down a little bit more fast and furiously. The team has to be down to a maximum of 23 players for the opening game on October 18th in Wheeling. That's 21 active roster spots, 2 reserve spots. That changes in November. It'll actually be a 20 spots available on the active roster with the 2 reserve spots. It's something the league implemented this year to give some teams some greater flexibility at the beginning of the season before the injuries and the call-ups start to pile up. So there were some cuts yesterday after the blue-white game, leaving 28 players in camp. So still 5 more to go. It should be a really exciting game in the exhibition home game against Reading on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that game is going to be very intense, almost like a regular season game. You're going to see some guys really fighting for a spot here. We saw 3 of the guys that were goal scorers in the overtime winner at Wheeling in the first preseason game ended up being some of the first 5 cuts. So not necessarily goal scoring or performance in just one moment is going to help these guys. It's the duration of the camp, but the culmination will end up here on Saturday in a very intense, lively atmosphere. I think the young guys, especially on the bubble right now, are going to need to show quite a bit. But it's going to be a fun atmosphere because this Jackals team, as we've seen, is very competitive and very talented, and that's a good problem to have when it's tough to cut guys down at this point.
Yeah, Dwight Mullins definitely has some tough decisions to make. Don't envy him being in that position. Well, it's an off day today for the Jackals from training camp, so a chance to get their legs back underneath them before a full day of practice tomorrow, and then the exhibition game against Reading here on Saturday, 7:05 puck drop. Tickets are available right now through the First Arena box office, or you can call 607-734-7825 to get your tickets ordered. That is it for now for the training camp report. We'll be back with more coverage from tomorrow's day of camp and help getting you ready for the exhibition game on Saturday against the Royals. Until then, for Jared Abbott, this is Ray Schmitt saying take care, everyone.